Hello, my beautiful Cappies. Healing Grasshopper here to do your first week in July reading, the 1st to the 8th. Let's see what we got. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. Four of Cups. I am not especially happy to see that. Cappies. Okay, but here comes the happiness. We'll see if this is reversed. Reversed? No. Yay. Okay, I see. What else we got? Judgment. Okay, love it. Four of Cups is talking about our muddy colored glasses, right? Which is the opposite of rosy colored glasses. Or pessimism, which is number one innate in a Capricorn. Our go to philosophy is Murphy's Law. You know, we always look for the worst outcome and that kind of thing, which isn't entirely a bad thing, right? Because we are very good at mitigating risk, you know? So, and that's why everyone always feels so safe around us and safe to hand us the reins of things because we are like the total opposite of Aries, where, you know, we look before we leap and that kind of thing. But that same natural pessimism can turn things sour when we are in an atmosphere of adversity, right? Things are not going around well around us, and we do not naturally look on the bright side. We wallow in the oh, everything is bad and turning to shit. The sky is falling, the world is ending, everything is collapsing. Okay, so and if we're in a prolonged period of adversity, like we have been through for the past 20 years, and you guys know that I always talk about this, Pluto and Capricorn for the past 20 years has kicked our asses. Just if we lifted a finger to try and do anything productive, to build our little sandcastles, Pluto would be there to knock it down right away. It was a mess. And I can tell you firsthand. And I know all of you guys, every single one of you are sitting there looking at your phones, nodding your heads right now. I went through that. I could tell you a million and one stories for the past 20 years of how horrible things were for me, right? Pluto. Thanks a lot, Pluto. But here's the thing for those of you who are new here, the ones who follow me, this is old news. That Pluto has entered Aquarius this past November. And the focus of destructive Pluto is no longer on Capricorn, and we can start to rebuild. But the sour taste in our mouth is still there from the past 20 years. And this is what this is talking about. We are still working on shedding that pessimism because that is not natural for us. But we have got to pull ourselves out of this, put on our rose colored glasses because the universe is starting to help us rebuild. All of the destruction that Pluto has caused in our lives, you think of it like a forest fire. I bring this up a lot, where they are horrible and devastating while they're happening, but the aftermath is very productive. The ash nourishes the soil and you have this new, burst of new growth and green everywhere and um wild plenty of food for wildlife and that kind of thing. The forest is reborn. This is that for us. But it's the beginning of that, you know? The earth is still scorched and we might have a little budding saplings and that kind of things coming up, little teeny tiny ones. But we don't particularly see those little saplings. We see ash everywhere and destruction. But Spirit is saying your emotional fulfillment. And you see how the 10 of Pentacles, this is ultimate emotional fulfillment, is right after the disillusionment card, the everything is bad card, nothing ever goes well for me card, to 10 of Cups, everything is going very well for you and you're happy. 4 of Wands, the celebration card. Celebration after work well done, right? And Lord knows Capricorn, all we know how to do is work, work, work. But this time we get to see results from the work instead of demolish sandcastles. Judgment. We have, this is Spirit calling to us. Like, hello, you can come out from under the rocks now, hiding from under the rock. The storm is over. No more forest fire. You can come out and enjoy the rebirth. Ah, God. And I feel you guys. I feel the grunts coming from Capricorns like, mm-hmm, I've heard it before. I know I'm sorry. And I did a video. Is it July? June, I think. I'll believe it when I see it. That's you guys. You're like, mm-hmm, you know, tell me another story, Grasshopper. We've heard it all before. Everything's great. Everything's not great in my life. Everything's still falling apart. I get you because I have to force this optimism in my own life, guys. Okay? Things are not perfect hunky dory for me either. So I'm not trying to gaslight you here. I'm just telling you what spirit is showing us. I can tell you, look, things on my end, I still have that feeling like, oh, why doesn't anything go right for me? And, you can't help but look at other people and you're like, why can't, my endeavors go as well as theirs? And they look like they hardly lifted a finger and look at them, you know? It's coming. And you know what, Cappies? People are going to look at us like that because we're the one that people look, you know, at others like the most. I didn't express that very well. Look at us like that the most, right? Because when things are going well for us, people look at us like, why does Capricorn get to have all that? And I don't have anything. Everything comes so easily to Capricorn. And we're like, really? Yeah, nothing comes to us easily, but we make it look that way, right? Because we don't let anyone see us sweat. We could be dying inside and we're smiling, right? So, but right now we're in that role of looking at other people like, damn, why can't I have that? That's going to change. King of Swords says, keep working, but specifically in the area of removal. Capricorns tend to be hoarders in our life. And I don't mean hoarders in our houses, I mean hoarders in our lives. We don't let go of things very easily. Especially when it comes to like relationships. And it can be romantic, platonic, professional, especially professional. We tend to stay in jobs way longer than we should because of the paycheck, right? But listen, whatever you're going to use the sword for is up to you because you've got to look around in your own life and see what needs to go. I can't tell you what that is because it's different for everyone. But you're going to know, you'll know. You may not want to, you may feel like, oh, that's salvageable, or I can still fix that, you know. And we're really not the ones with relationships too, who like on a whim, like, we're angry one day and we walk away. That's like Aries. No, we will take a whole lot for months and years before we call it quits. But Spirit is saying there is a whole lot still that you're going to need to cut out of your life. Habits, self-limiting beliefs. There's still a lot of baggage weighing us down. The Chariot just came to mind. We'll see if that comes out. But the Seven of Wands here. Oh, is that reversed? Seven of Wands reversed? No. Yeah. Not for Capricorn. Seven of Wands reversed. Never. Very rare. This is very Capricorn. We trudge on. We've got a lot to deal with, but we're handling it. We're above it. It may be tiring, but nothing we can't handle. Very good. Love to see it. We'll see if that's reversed in a moment. Queen of Pentacles. We'll see if that's reversed. Let me turn my deck around. Yeah, see, I turned my deck around. They're still coming up upside down. My jumpers almost always come out reversed. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, I don't know, weird energy of mine. Maybe it's Capricornian. Everything comes out reversed. Um, any of these reversed? No. Okay. Love to see the Six of Swords here in this position. Okay, guys, look. Love, love, love this. Remember, I was talking about the pessimism and the disillusionment that we're in, the muddy colored glasses that we need to take off, right? And here's judgments. This is Spirit saying, take those glasses off already. You don't need them. Wake up to your new life, you know. Uh, Six of Swords is you slowly beginning to move away from the old life and accepting the fact that you are moving into a new one. Very important, this card. You're going to start to let go of those glasses. Maybe we can even chuck them in the water, those colored glasses. We don't need them anymore. We certainly don't need money colored glasses because we have that built-in pessimism to protect us. We don't need shit colored glasses on top of it all. So, Queen of Pentacles, we've got moving towards stability, a creative stability. A dignified stability. I just heard dignified. That's another thing that this comes from, too. There have been a whole lot of things that have been destructive to our egos, too, which is a devastating thing for Capricorn because we are very prideful. But the universe has been really chipping away at our ego to build us back up. There are things that we need to get rid of, right? See this diagonal line here? And there's strength at the end of it. We're in a very, very important time in our lives. We are at a rebuilding of everything, our physical lives, our personal lives, our professional lives, our spiritual lives. The way we see ourselves is going to change, but for the better. We'll be better for it. What did I say about ego? So, Empress oftentimes in my readings is about dignity and self worth. I often call this like the wifey card, and this comes out a lot in love readings when you have someone who's being abused, a querent that's being abused. The Empress will almost always come out where Spirit is like, don't forget who you are. You are a queen. You don't deserve to be treated that way. This is an exalted position here. This is a brand new Capricorn being born, being born, right? What clarification cards do we have? Knight of Wands. This is us getting to work. The Magician, with the universe providing everything we need to rebuild. The Devil, and the Ace of Wands. The Devil in a Capricorn reading is about overcoming self limiting beliefs and adverse situations. That is what we are good at. Ace of Wands, diagonally across from the Knight of Wands. This is getting to work. But Spirit helping us, right? This is a promise of a different energy, again, from the Pluto and Capricorn, where we felt like, not only was everything falling apart all the time, but we felt like there were forces against us all the time. And for those of you who have never seen the new Little Rascals, please go see that movie. It's the best movie ever. It was, and I mean relatively new. There's a Little Rascals movie that was made in, I want to say, late 90s, early 2000s. So funny, so great. They did such a good job on this movie. I'm a Little Rascals fan. I watched it, the black and white old one, when I was a kid, and I adore it. Anyway, the modern one has Alfalfa is being chased by Butch and whatever Butch's friend's name was, and just everything is not going well for him. And something happens, like his pants fall off or something, or no, his pants are off. I don't know. Something happens, like he bumps into Butch or something. I don't know. He looks up at the sky and he's like, and the skies opened up and God said, "I hate you, Alfalfa." It's so funny. You have to see this movie. So it's so great. Anyway, um, that's the way Capricorn has felt for the past 20 years. Like God was deliberately punishing us in every moment of our lives for the past 20 years. But this is God making peace with you, like, oh, there, it's okay. Here's a cookie, you know, you want a milkshake? Here. Like, this is God saying, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but it was necessary. But look, I'm helping you. But you have to look up and see him handing you this wand. Okay? Don't cry. Some of you guys are like, but it's terrible still. I know. We're getting through it, I promise. We're gonna get through it together. We're all Capricorns in this room. Or, well, yeah, Capricorns in some capacity, right? Sun, moon, rising, north node, really important. King's man, we'll see if that's reversed. Probably. Well, we'll see. Reversed? Yay, it's not reversed. Okay? So this is us starting to gain a new perspective. That's also what the six of swords was talking about too. Us getting into the boat and moving away from misfortune. And this is starting to watch the sun come up. Yeah, I think that was a fumble. Fumble? Yeah, none of these are ours. I didn't think so. Oh, look at the strength card, but these are not for us. This is look at the Empress. Wow, what's going on with these cards? Wow. Hmm. Ooh, that was interesting. Oh, I didn't see it. It was off camera. Okay. There was like I'm trying to write the deck, and every time I turned a segment over, there was an upright card, another upright card. But yeah, those weren't really for us. But that was kind of an energy of like, pay attention, pay attention. The world. Now, those of you who follow me are like, oh boy, here goes the world. You know what I'm going to say? We're going through a portal. These kind of cards come out for us a lot. The world, the wheel of fortune, right? The four of wands. We're going through, there's another thing that I don't mention as much. I don't know if I've mentioned this at all this year or even last year. You also have to remember, guys, we are children of Saturn. We are Capricorns. And I know we're all of you guys, well, most of you, oh my God, with the construction. I don't know if you guys hear that. They have been ripping up the road right outside of my house, and it's so irritating. Lord have mercy. Okay. Um, Yeah, very distracting. I have to close my window. Hold on. I hope that's a little better. Okay. Saturn, right? Because all of us are in the, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. Everything's still terrible. You keep telling me that things are getting better, but they're not. You have to remember, guys, that we are Capricorns. Things don't happen quickly in our lives, right? We are always the Knight of Pentacles, right? It's the knight sitting on the horse that's not moving. That's us. Everything is slow. We are the tortoise and the tortoise and the hare fable. We'll get there and we'll win spectacularly when we get there. But this it's going to take us a little longer. And when we get there, we'll have our haters too. Like I said, oh, it's Capricorn, Capricorn. Nah, fuck off. We've been through it. You don't know a thing about us, right? And that's going to be a problem. I know. Just wait. In a few years, when things are fabulous, we're going to turn up with you know, the tea leaves. Like someone's talking about you, and yeah, there's always someone. Anyway, right? That is the key here. It's not going to come on, a bullet train handed to us in a silver platter. It's coming to us via, donkey. But it's coming. Our blessings are coming. They're clearly here. They're clearly depicted in all of the readings. By the way, I've seen changes in all of the readings. From last year to this year, everyone has had some degree of, oh, it's terrible, it's bad, mostly difficulty, and a few like cards of hope. And then I'm starting to see, oh, I've got potting soil on my nails. Sorry, guys. I have a little indoor garden. I'm always toiling in an herb garden and whatnot. Um, where early in the year, I started to see, like in the spring, I started to see like the fire signs, like Aries, like things going really well for them. I was like, of course, it's fire energy. Everything happens like in a flash for Aries, and Aries hops to it right away. Yeah, we are the last in the zodiac sign to receive the blessings. Well, we see everyone else eating their ice cream. We're like still standing at the truck, like, hey, where's my ice cream? And the whole, crowd is eating theirs. Don't worry, we're getting to it. It's all over this reading. Anyway, with the readings, right? I was like, oh, look at Aries. And then I was like, Pisces and Gemini. Look at you guys, Libra, right? But our readings were still like, oh, the Five of Pentacles out in the cold card, and things not going as far. Our readings not all that great. But even you have to admit that the readings are starting to change. And now, with those glasses we've just taken off, take a rational, realistic look at our lives now compared to what they were last year. You have to admit that things have improved a little bit from last year and the past 20 years. So we're going to focus on the good things and the blessings that have come to us so we can perpetuate new ones. We can manifest new ones. Okay? And maybe you can talk about anything you want to talk about, but I am looking forward to hearing from you in the comment section. If you want to lament at me about how things are still difficult for you, have at it because we are a supportive community here. Okay? But if you guys have some blessings that you want to contribute, do that too. I'd love to hear about it. I'm sure other people would, you know, feel refreshed to hear it as well. All right? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, guys. It is very encouraging and helpful to me. Your likes, your subscribes, your comments, hitting the notification bell so you don't miss anything will be great. Okay, now the music. I don't know if you, oh my gosh, just paused it. I forgot about copyright infringement. I don't know if you heard that, but just somebody really loud playing Shaka Khan, which I love, but not during my readings, please. Anyway, I love you guys. Stick with me. We're going to get through this together. I love you, Capricorn. I will speak to you soon. Love, light, and many blessings.